What's going on, boys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to go over the 3-5-2, probably the best formation in the game, period. It's definitely one of the best attacking formation, and the reason why it's so great is in a 3-5-2 when you attack you actually go forward in a 5-man attack. And the reason why this is so effective, because everyone is playing park the bus so compact, those left mids and right mids, when they fly forward, they are always unmarked and they're always giving you options. So you can always pass the ball to them and then lob it inside the box for you to create a chance for a goal. Perfect for a fluid, fun and fast attack. Now in contrast, when you go back to your defensive phase, when your opponent's got the ball, you fly back into a 5-3-2. Your left mid and right mid, they come back, and then your striker comes back from a strike position and makes a centre mid, and you make that 5-3-2 line. Perfect for defending all areas and having a tight defense. Now I'm going to show you the tactics and formation for this. I'm going to change them and explain to you what changes what. So don't skip this, because if you change something, it won't work. And you have to understand the reasons why. That way you can adjust it to perfect it to your playing style. Now, the actual defensive style we left unbalanced. This year you cannot use any of these. Not because of the way the meta is, because drop back is a big no-no. Everyone's using it. The lower tier players, they're relying on it. Yes, but once you go to Division 6 and above, everyone's going to be out here spamming finesse shots. Use drop back, you're going to come to me and say, oh, this formation doesn't work anymore. It's not the formation doesn't work, it's the way that people play that changes the game. So what you want to do is leave some balance. It is fine because your 5 sit over here like this, and your midfield 3 are just in front. You can oppress the midfield 3, you can make them press the person who's doing a finesse shot. So you cover this hand side, that hand side, and the middle. So it's perfect to stop the finesse shot meta. So don't go anything else. Just don't do it. In the future, when the patch comes out, I will change it, okay? The width, we've now changed this as well. We've gone to 40. Now, again, it's the same thing. Don't forget the L1 triangle meta is still a thing, okay? So when you're playing in a 3-5-2, you don't want a massive gap, because your opponent can do L1 triangle. So don't forget, these guys are going to be flying up and down, right? So ignore them for a second. If you got a back 3, you don't want someone doing a through ball in behind in the corner. And likewise, you don't want to be having such a massive gap between them. Don't forget, when you're defending, you defend in the 5-3-2, right? So you don't want to have the width too far away, because they're going to be too wide apart, because the formation is quite wide as it is. So you want to keep this on low. I would recommend realistically just going towards 40. Don't go any more than that. Depth, you can go 55. That's completely fine. If you want to on a higher level, you can put this to 60, but there's actually no difference in this, because you want to be low back enough when you're defending in the defensive phase, where you get the ball and then you kind of rush forward your left mid or right mid. So you don't want to be too far ahead, because you lose that threat. You kind of want your opponent to commit a little bit forward, and then you want to pounce on them when you go forward. Now, offensive style, realistically, the only one you should be using is long ball. Fast ball, balanced is decent, but the problem is they don't really make the runs you want them to, even with getting behind. Slow build-up play is fine if you play a slow progressive build-up, but you're going to see you actually lose a lot of the attacking threat in this formation, because one of the best attacking threats is going for your 2 strikers you can behind your left mid and right mid, them flying forward. So I would say leave it on long ball. Fast build-up play for this meta, as it stands, won't work, because the passing game, and I'm sure you know this, you'll make a 5-yard pass and the game will mess it up. And then your opponent will get the ball and do a 30-yard pass, but it'll go in behind. So you can't take that risk by losing the ball if everyone flies forward. So just leave it on long ball. Now, chance creation, probably the most important one. It's a new addition this year. Don't forget, long ball in effect was, I suppose you can say, the first 2/3. Chance creation, as I suppose you can say, the final third. Now, in my opinion, I would say you have 3 options, okay? I would recommend every single player, regardless of what level you are, to start on balanced, okay? Use balanced. I use balanced myself. It works very, very well. Then I would say you can use direct passing. Now, the way the 3-5-2 works is that when you do direct passing, they're just there in the right place at the right time. But this is only if you know how to use the L1 trigger to supplement them to make a run in behind. If you don't know how to do that, then just use balance, because balance is a good combination. But if you know how to use the L1 triggers, then you can use direct passing. In the final third, they're just there in the right place. And with long ball, when you first get the ball, you can always use the L1 triangle meta against your opponent when you're counter-attacking. And in the final third, you're going to see your left mid and right mid. They're going to be there, and you can just pass the ball for them, because we're making runs in behind into space. Now, forward runs, I wouldn't recommend, because it is too attacking and you're going to get countered. So unless you really know what you're, even I struggle with this, unless you really know what you're doing and you have a top tier team, not an average team, you got a top tier team, fast defense, then you can get away with it. So I would just say, realistically, stay unbalanced. The worst I would say is go to direct passing. Now width, what we've done is we increased the width, sorry, to 55, simply because we're going to be using hug the sidelines. I'll explain how that works in a second. But don't forget, in the middle is basically like a 4-1-2-1-2. We want to keep that structure, but have the left mid and right mid far enough. I've tried stay wide. It doesn't work as well, and if you turn it off, you're kind of locked in. So I think 55 width gives the best gap between everyone, and especially against, if you're looking for the finesse angle, the striker is a bit far away from you, he's not too close towards you, and it's mainly, I suppose you can say, for the middle areas. For the players in the box, we left this on default. You can of course reduce this down. I reduced this down just because you've already got 2 strikers in a camp anyway, and corners and free kicks, I put them to 1. Now, going over to the instructions, it's important now you copy these exactly how I say it. Do not change anything in regards to these. Okay, both strikers, okay? One striker, stay forward, stay central, okay? One of your strikers. The other striker on comeback and offense. Why? It's because when you're defending, this guy's going to come back and make a 3. Now, it depends which striker. If you put this striker on comeback and offense over here, then he's going to come back and defend. Obviously, Benyetta's got terrible stamina, so naturally made the player with the most stamina, Son, and we put him on comeback and offense. That way, he makes the right centre mid, Fred then moves to centre mid, and Sissoko makes the left centre mid. So in this situation, the most defensive player in a CDM, you want to put them in the middle. Now we have stay central for both of them as well, because we want them to go in the middle. The left mid and right mid are going to overlap, but you want these guys to stay in the middle. The cam, we want just in behind. We want to stay forward and get into the box for a cross. That's why we left the low crossing features, because we know realistically that this guy's going to get into the box anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. So get into the box. We're forcing him to get into the box regardless anyway with the instructions, so that's why we left it on low. Don't put free roam or drift wide. You want him to stay in behind the strikers. If you got a finesse shot abuser over here, you put him over there, because he's going to get the chances when the striker's running behind. Your opponent's going to track the strikers, and then you're going to have the cam. I just want to say, if you do want to get better at FIFA, I do have a paid advanced in-depth FIFA School Series. This is for all levels of those that want to improve in FIFA. This is different from YouTube videos. It's in a progressive learning system where all the videos go completely in-depth with examples and explanations. You won't find these videos on my YouTube channel, and these go beyond the scope of typical YouTube videos. They are very elaborate, in-depth videos in a structured format explaining what you need to do one by one incrementally. So come join hundreds of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better at FIFA. Patreon.com/NealGuides. Link is down below in the description. Of course, I have all of my previous year's videos that still apply to this year, and I have new videos for FIFA 22 being frequently released, and it's already there already, and new ones coming out to adjust to the patches. It's a complete money back guarantee as well, so if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money. That is a NealGuides guarantee. Patreon.com/NealGuides. But anyway, back to the video. Now the most important one, the left mid and the right mid. Come back on offense, down the edge of the box. Now, if you want to, you can leave this unbalanced. Now, I don't cross the ball in myself, but sometimes when you get the ball in going this way, and this is important to understand this, okay? If you get the ball in going like that, you do a driven cross across the side, the other one will come inside. But that means they get into the box sometimes too much. You might be recycling the ball and they get into the box. So that's why I just say just leave it unbalanced. If you've got a left back, so for example, I got Reguilon playing here as a left back. He's not really going to be going into the box as much, so I put him on center edge of the box. But I'll be honest, if you're not too sure about that and you don't understand what I'm talking about and you're new to the game, just leave this unbalanced. Those who are the elite players will know what I'm talking about. For both the left mid and right mid of them on comeback and offense as well, it's imperative to have that because these guys are going to be flying forward to create the attack in 5, but they're also going to be coming back for the attack, for the defensive 5, should I say, as well as the left wing back and the right wing back. So comeback and offense is imperative on them. We left them unbalanced, not stay wide, because we can always use hug the sidelines in the game. When you're playing the game, the key is press up on the D-pad, then press right to activate hug the sidelines. That's imperative. That way they stay wide as possible and they break the opposing line, where then both can get in behind. And now if you've got, let's say, players who've got bad stamina, put conservative interceptions on. That will help with the stamina and that will reduce the stamina greatly. That gets affected. So when they fly forward, they won't be always going and trying to get these, pushing forward too much, getting out of position. So number 1, you don't get out of position. Number 2, you save stamina as well. Now moving on from that, if we go over to the CDMs, now both CDMs on stay back while attacking, cover center, and what you can do is, if you want to, again, if you're an elite player, this is for the elite players only, put one of these on get forward. It becomes an insane attacking formation. You want someone like Bruno Fernandes in this role if you're doing that. Someone like KDB or someone like Hullet. That's who you want. But for most of you that are watching this, in all honesty, put it on stay back while attacking. But the elite players that are watching, they will know what I'm talking about again. And always come back to this video and refer to it. So use this formation for a bit and be like, you know what? I'm better than I thought I was. Come back to this video and look at what I said and then adapt it. Both the three centre backs are going to be on stay back while attacking. I have them on balance. Forget this conservative rubbish. People keep suggesting it. Forget it. It's going to cost you because then they just sit back too much. Leave it on balance. The most important thing is you put this guy over here on overlap. Now, this is basically the same thing as overlap last year. Basically, they don't run forward, okay? They don't run forward like this. They just become left center backs and right center backs when you're attacking, but they're more wider. So it's basically the same thing as last year. And if you do a 1-2 with them, they will make a run on the outside. That is the only thing. So don't think they're going to be running forward. They're not. They're just going to be staying a bit wider when you have the ball, and that is perfect because you can do the 1-2s between the left mid and the left center back, right center back, and the left mid and the left center back. Well, guys, that is the video for the 3-5-2. I just want to say the way I've lined up is, let me show you how I've done it in game. So what I've done is in game, I've got 2 CDMs. They're going to play in the middle. And then I have, for example, one person that's going to be playing left mid. Now, I move my left back to the left mid role. In this situation, it is Reguilon. He's got high work rates. It's imperative and perfect for a left mid. Now, for the right mid, I have Gelson Martins. Now, he's the best player in my opinion because he's high work rates again, so he can fly up and down. But, of course, he does have the high stamina as well. So it's perfect for the left mid and right mid flying up and down the pitch. 5-star skill moves, high agility, balance. I couldn't go wrong. If you want some cheap subs, get someone like Jota. Now, for the centre backs, please do not use someone like Ruben Diaz, someone like 60 pace. Please, you have to. Everyone keeps suggesting this, and with respect, I mean with respect, don't listen to them. Because when you go into division, I would say 4 and above, you're going to get killed with this L1 triangle meta in behind. And I mean this in all honesty, okay? So what you want to do is try to get it so your 2 centre mids have got decent pace that are quite dynamic. Have one defensive, one that's going forward, quite dynamic if you put him on go forward, or at least he can bring the ball going forward, okay? So Sissoko can't pass save his life, but Fred can. Then for the 3 centre backs, just go with pace. I still move my left back and right back into centre back. They still work. As long as the guy's got medium high work rates like Wan-Bissaka, it is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it, okay? Because the defense awareness is effective, but it's not nerfed as much as you think. Just trust me. I've been using fullback for like 5 years, and I've been using it heavily for 2 years, and I'm telling you, you won't notice that much of a difference. As long as you know how to at least run back with your defenders. But anyway, that is a 3-5-2. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.